Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so I was going over the radar. I just kind of want to, it's going to be a different little video. So a couple of things we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at, we need the autopilot because we need to look at the rudder. We need a rudder. Okay, and then we need a camera. So we need this camera here. Let's see. Let me get a velocity pivot like that. Oops. So basically, what we're trying to do is I've been checking this stuff out, and sort of where I got to. All right, so we got the camera here. We need that. We need another monitor. We're going to be going over finding out where an object is. Okay, the X and Y of an object. So, what do I mean? What do I mean by that? Well, when you are in Stormworks, and let's see, let's just go over this. We'll start with the radar. We'll start with the radar. Okay. First things first, we'll go over the code. I settled this. So the last time we looked at the radar code, I had the distance and I was dividing it by 48. I was dividing it by the radius. We still need this here, okay? It didn't work. Anytime I tried to divide the distance that I got by any number, it just wouldn't print properly. So what does that mean? That means that in order to get the radar to function properly, we just need to take the values that it gives us, and we don't want to change them in any way, right? We just want to kind of do a basic, that's it. We don't want to do, so the issue with that is it's going to be hard to determine a scale. So the scale now is determined by the distance of your radar. So for example, it's set up to 300 right now. So as you can see where I'm at, it makes a line. It also makes a dot. Pretty cool. Just like that, and it works. I flipped the monitor around to see if it works, and it works 360. So what we want to do, because I know the last radar video I did, I was like, I don't know if these numbers are right. Just to settle the debate on that, because I'm going to start making some dials. We're going to go through making dials and stuff. So just to settle it, this is what you want to do. You just want to take in the numbers and you just want to use them. You don't want to try and divide the distance by anything. And you just want to use that raw number. Add 1 degree to it, plus the angle, that's it. And print it. And then that it's accurate. So we need to find the scale, right? We need to find the scale. So what I've done is that I have this radar, it's set up to 384. All right. I had to invert the rotation. For some reason, every time I use theirs, I have to invert all the stuff they have. So I had to invert the rotation just to get it so that way it spun properly on the screen. But anyway, so that's that. Because what happens is the line that I have, I'm using negative for the minus instead of a positive for this one. So when you use a minus, the line is pointing to the top of the screen, and when you use a positive, the line is pointing to the bottom of the screen. So we're going to be using that when I make some dials. I want the dials to only be able to go over half. You know, fuel, whatever. I know the last time I did a dial video, the dial was to the side. So this time we're going to flip it and we're going to make it so like that. So yeah, following the mouse, following the movements of the mouse. That's what we're doing. So for this one here, I wonder if there's could be a wave coming. I'm not sure. Something. Yeah. So for this one here, that's it. So all we get from the radar, okay, is where the object is in relation to the radar, and how far away from us it is, and its elevation, okay? So the other thing we can do is we can take a laser, for example, and here we're gonna actually, you know, I can turn this laser and I can point it in the direction. So this is what we're gonna do. So we have the laser here. We need a seat because it'll be the easiest thing to do here. Okay, we have the laser. All right, and then this is velocity. Okay, A and D is that. All right, and then what we need from the radar is we need to enable the laser. And then from that, we need a blank microcontroller. Just bear with me here. It'll all make sense in just a moment. In the blank microcontroller, we need to bring the composite in from the laser on the camera. All right, so we're going to composite camera in. All right, so let me take the camera. We'll update that. Now, what does the camera give us? The camera gives us the X position of the target, the Y position of the target, and the Z position, and then the pitch and the yaw. Boy, that's a lot of data. Well, what does all that mean? Well, I'll show you here. Let's see. Yeah, keypad. That's what we're going to determine right now. We need a GPS, and you say, well, why do we need all this stuff? The keypad and the GPS. It'll make sense in just a second. All right, so we have our V. This is Y target. And then this is our Y position and our X position. And then this is the compass in. Okay, and then this is going to be our, where's our rudder? Steering. It's going to go out to the rudder. Okay, so the laser is going to give us the X, the Y, and the Z. So let's output that. X, Y, and Z. Okay. Number X, number Y, number Z. Okay. And then I think it's, oh, these are going to be output, and then I think it's channel 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, right? Y, X, Z, composite, number 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, it's a lot of work, I know. So then we'll update that. Then we need a couple of displays. We need 3 displays. 1, 2, and 3. And then we need, this can be all decimals disable. I don't think it matters. Does it matter? It might. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out in just a moment. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and then this is going to be X, Y, Z. All right. X, Y, Z. Now, what do all these numbers mean? Let's make sure. Oh, and then I need the video to go into this monitor here. That's cool that we can bring it into the headset. Video into the headset. That's actually really neat. I haven't tried that. Let's test that out. We'll bring it into the headset. Okay. And then I guess it needs to be a pilot mask, right? Headset. Is that what headset? Okay. No. Pilot mask. Okay. Let's see how that looks. And then 1, let's see, 2 can turn on the monitor. And I think that's all we need for now. Okay. So what have we just built? What have we just built? Well, so we're able to figure out the distance of an object, and we're able to figure out the, that's weird, it didn't go into my headset, I don't know why. Okay, so we're gonna do this. One is the laser. Okay, so it's gonna now give us, hold on, I should turn on tracking mode so that way it's smooth. We'll say 3 is gonna be tracking mode. There we go. All right. 1, 2. Okay, so now what it's giving us is an X value and a Z value. So the X value is 19321. So let's go 19321. Okay, and then the Z value is minus 26386. Okay, minus 26386, and this is a minus as well. All right, so it's telling us that we need to turn in that direction to go there. So basically what we're getting at is the X and the Z value is where the target is, and the Y value is the height of the target. All right, you see how it's changed there? Now the target. Here, we'll point at something else. We'll point at something else. 26423. Yeah, see 26423. So it's changed. It's pointing at somewhere else. So wherever the laser is. So where does that relate to? That directly relates to its position on the map. That's the target's XY position on the map. Because we're basically pointing, if you see down there in the bottom right, my coordinates. This was 1931, 26, 380, right? And we're at 310, 26, 399. So we're off. You know, essentially, if I could zoom right in, I could find that position. So when you're working with this kind of stuff and you're trying to find the position of a target, you need to use a combination of the radar, which is going to tell you where the target is. In this case, it's us. Obviously, the radar is looking at somewhere else. And then if you want to get its XY position on the map, you need to see it and then be able to retrieve its XY position. So there's 2 ways to do that. And you can do that with this camera, or I think I have lasers. Yes, so detected laser points. Very interesting. So I don't actually have lasers unlocked here. So that's, for me, the only way for me to get the X and Y of the target right now is with this camera. So that's the only way I can do it. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there just as a quick little video. And then as you saw, if we turn the rudder turned in this direction, meaning the boat would be turning to the right to get to the target. So if I rotated this, I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I can rotate it just to show that the rudder would actually start to, I can rotate it. Okay, perfect. So let's set that up again. And let's go 1 and 2. And then let's just kind of shoot that position there. Ooh, that's kind of nice. And what are we at? We're at minus 19,307. Minus 19307. 307. And 26372. Minus 26372. And of course, it's not right to the decimal. So now it's saying that we need to move in that direction. So if we moved it this way, there, you see how the rudder is correcting into the position of where we need to go to? So what I'm basically getting at is I'm gonna start looking at missiles, and basically this is our rudder direction, and then because before when I was building my missiles, I thought that the X and the Y was the rudder position. And now I realize that it's the X and the Z that is your rudder position, and Y is your altitude. So that kind of ties, hopefully that sort of ties all this together. If you're trying to use the radar and you're trying to find a target, you use the radar to determine the angle of where the target is. Like in this case, this radar is only set up to about 300 meters. So, right, it shows you I'm way over here. Right, it's detecting me. So it tells you where to go to find the target. And then once you've found the target, you need to get its actual position on the map. And that's where you can pinpoint it with a laser. Boom, once you get the XY, or the X and the Z, then you can shoot a laser, and that is the rudder for your laser. The X and the Z is the rudder for your laser, and Y is your pitch. That's the altitude of the target you're trying to find and track. So yeah, that is just going to do it for that. Thank you so much for watching. Like I say, I'm going to get into start making some custom dials and stuff. So, but I just wanted to sort of settle the debate on the radar. I wonder if this is even going still. Let's check. Oh yeah, just about cool. Quick video. Settle the debate on the radar. You can't divide the distance by the radius. You just have to accept the distance, and then when you're printing it, right, you need to say distance, cosine, and sine. And then what I've done here is it draws a circle at the X and the Y value, and then it draws a line from the center of the screen to the X and the Y value. And each target, what I'll do is each target will have its own thing. Just like that. All right, so in the next video, what I'm going to do is I don't know what I'm going to do. Something else. Right, so then you need to do that. And this needs to be X2 and Y2. 3. Don't make that mistake. You gotta go all the way down. There we go. And now we should have a whole bunch of different little lines for all the detected targets. So what I'm getting at basically is you can have a couple of different radars, right? One that detects close range targets in the same manner. One that detects long range targets, and then so on and so forth. And that's basically how you have to run that, right? So it's detecting me, as you saw there. That's pretty cool. Right there, as I'm running across the screen. And if you want to see if it will track me on the other side, let's test it out. Let's test. So we should be on the top of the screen now. We should be on the top of the screen. The radar is this way, and it's turning this way. Yeah. See, we're on the top of the screen now. So it's totally tracking us in real time, and it's really accurate. Nice. I really like that. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.